Time of year. Yeah, they want us dead up in jail, but we coming for. Yeah, only time to tell when we prevail, we here, we taking up. Shit, cause it's a war going on outside. Yeah, now it's time to start cracking down on the oppressive task force. Let these people know it's equality over war. Harder to understand for the people that can't relate. No matter the circumstance of speed, love, not hate to debate. Until you're gray, until you're blue in the face. No matter how you throw it up, it all come down to race for your weight, staring you dead in your face. You think you're a Terminator, wait till we activate. You will say your waiting days are over. The bold black man is in effect, and we ain't going for shit. So don't try to put us to rest. The best, and our people is coming to fruition. And soon will be sufficient enough to optimize the system. Then it's time for some reconstruction. Make the system work for us in the time when I will live in luxury. I can vision standing in their conference, break it down, our demands, be boys breaking like in the function. Now first off, all of our kids should be awarded full scholarships to colleges with proper GPAs, no matter what the curriculum. Also, we should be awarded all proper and necessary resources to build black and or other so-called minority banks, schools, hospitals, youth recreational centers, so on and so forth, which should be government funded to qualified candidates appointed by the people for the people. We also would like full and straight prosecution to those who continue to discriminate and therefore oppress against our people based on race. We want freedom. Freedom. Got a chance to get that. Freedom. Still fight for freedom. Throw your motherfucking fist in the air, yeah. Raise your fist in the air one time a year. Yeah. They want us dead in the jail, but we coming for. Only time to tell when we prevail, we here, we coming for. Yeah, cause there's a war going on outside, nowhere to hide from them. Yeah, raise your fist in the air one time a year. They want us dead or in jail, but we coming for. Only time to tell when we prevail, we here, we coming for. Yeah, cause there's a war going on outside, nowhere to hide from. Peace move. Smooth nigga in the game. Yeah. It's the war going on outside, nowhere to hide. Yeah. We want our motherfucker.
She says Jaded Style Speed.
Yeah. You know what it is.
Yeah,
Come on, baby.
peace. Yeah, peace, y'all. This welcome back to the Warrior Scholars Podcast. I am your host, Kofi Piche. We have a special guest in the building, my brother from another mother, Shanathan Palador. Could you please introduce yourself to the people?
Man, first and foremost, I want to say I'm excited to be here on the Warrior Scholar Show, man. Those that don't know, living under a rock somewhere, man, Kofi and I first rocked on your other podcast you had for the scholars during the pandemic. I was blessed to be one of the first guests you had on your show, and it's so good to be here for the first time on the Warrior Scholar Show, man. Love everything you're doing over here. Love the amazing guests you have here. So I'm glad to be a part of that elite class of people, man. But to answer your question, man, I am Sean Polador, self-published author, public speaker, public intellectual, scholar, educator, learning enthusiast, and some, man. So, glad to be here, man. With the brand new publication, man, still creating.
No doubt. We're gonna definitely get into that, man. Before we get into the interview, there's something that I always have to do on here, and that is I always have to break down what a warrior is, what a scholar, and when combining both of those words, from my perspective, what a warrior scholar means, right? So a warrior is from the old French warrior, a soldier, combative, one who wage war. A warrior is a person who gains an experience of any warfare broadly, a person engaged in some struggle or conflict. A scholar is a person who attends a school or study under a teacher. A pupil, a person who has done advanced studies in special fields. a learned person, a holder of scholarship, a person who studies a subject in great detail, especially at a university. My perspective, when you combine the warrior and the scholar, you get warrior scholar. So a warrior scholar, from my perspective, is someone who is well studied and waging war against mistruths, pseudoisms, and willing to stand on the battlefield against institutions and
Yeah.
platforms that promote that. A warrior scholar is someone who is on a mission for the truth, for accurate and sound information. A warrior scholar is one who is disciplined, good characters, morals, and willing to fight back against those who use misinformation dangerously. So that is what a warrior scholar is from my perspective. And this brother that's on this panel is definitely a warrior scholar in his own right, right? So now that we have that out of the way, let's get into the interview, y'all. So, Sean, this is every person that comes on the Warrior Scholar platform. I ask every guest this question. So, since this is the Warrior Scholar podcast, could you share some of your warrior scholars in your life, past or present, and who have most shaped your personal growth and inspired the path you have taken?
Man, I'm gonna say my main warrior scholar who is alive and well, thank God, man. Anthony Bell, Tony Bell, from the city where I'm from, Franklin, Louisiana. I was born and raised on 2nd Street. Tony Bell was on 3rd Street. You know what I'm talking about? The next block away on the backside, 3rd Street, right? But like 15 years ago, give or take, he's the main brother in my life that really put me on the path and trajectory that I'm on right now when it comes to scholarship, when it comes to how you conduct yourself, how you study, how you read. He the one that got me really, really engaged in the content fully. I was already like a reader before him to a degree, you know, when it comes to fictional books and things like that. That's cool. I was dabbling in a certain non-fiction books before I met him, but like when I came across Tony, he started really pouring into me when it comes to the 5% Nation teachings, Nation of Islam teachings, even some of the Morris Science Temple teachings and other things he was bringing me on into, man, and stuff I'd never heard before in my life coming from where I'm from. I've never heard these things, never heard these concepts. He would always just give me homework, man. Man, go and read these. And we would sit on his porch at his house at the time. We would sit down for 3 or 4 hours at a time, just running it, just building, as they say. Just, you know, in the beginning, when I didn't know anything, I'm pretty much just sitting there because I don't know nothing to say nothing back. I'm just 4 hours just sitting there listening, like mind blown. And then as I was learning, I'd be going back and forth conversing until it got to a point to where we became more like peers versus this lopsided teacher-student relationship. We became more like peers and more like equal brothers, you know what I mean? And he my dog to this day. When it comes to family, relationship, business, any aspect of life, Tony has poured into my life incredibly as a warrior and a scholar.
No doubt, no doubt. Shout out to Tony Bell, man, for taking the time, man, to groom my brother. You know what I'm saying, and expand his mind and his horizons to other types of information and so forth. Okay, you've been a strong advocate for reading throughout your career. How did your passions for reading influence your decision to become a writer?
Oh man, that's an easy question right there. Only because I'm the kind of person, since I was the kid, Kofi, like if I see something I really, really like, I want to try doing it. And I was telling somebody this a couple of days ago when it came to a basketball analogy, right? When I was a kid, being the avid basketball head, I'm watching the game on TV, I'm seeing a certain highlight, a certain move, or whatever. I want to immediately turn the TV off. Now, those that young don't understand it, those that's young, turn that TV off. I want to go in that court and try it immediately. I'm trying to figure out, he did it and did a spin move like, you know, there is no cell phone, there is no YouTube, you can't run it back. You have to watch it and really pay attention and try to remember it in your mind and keep that still picture in your head how he did it, right? So you go from that to when it comes to the fitness world, same thing in the gym. I'm watching certain people I admire in the gym do a certain thing. I want to try that movement. Can I pull that off? Can I do that? Is that possible, right? And then you bring that over into the reading world. like I said earlier in the conversation, I spent like 10 plus years reading fictional books. I'm reading Eric Jerome Dickey. I'm reading Omar Tyree. I'm reading Nikki Turner. I'm reading Sister Soldier. All these people. And I'm wondering, can I write a character like that? Can I make a world, the world building and the scenery? Can I make it that vivid? Can I make a story that had that much intensity and passion in it? I just want to see if I can do it. So it's just like my sport days. I'm seeing something. Can I recreate it? You know what I'm saying? So, all that reading I was doing definitely influenced me to actually pick the pen up. Like, you know what? I want to at least try it one time. And the fun about this thing, Kofi, is this past week, we all had Yahoo email. Back in the day, we had a Yahoo account, Yahoo, Hotmail, AOL, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, like, man, I was writing way back in the day, but I forgot about it. I wonder if I could find my old writing. And I went all last week digging in my old Yahoo email, pulling up stories I wrote back in 05, 06. Like old writing, bro, that I had never seen almost 20 years, man. Just looking at my old writing and finding 4 and 5 and 6 things from back then just really, really, that was exciting for me to find that when I first started trying to write.
Yeah.
That was the earliest Sean P. writings, man. So
Good luck with trying to find that AOL. I don't know we're trying to.
Well, you funny.
But before we get further into the interview, Drea, our sister, shout out to Drea. I see Dear B is in the building as well as Ashley, sister Ashley Wade. She says, Drea says, Warrior Scholar versus Griot. What makes them different? To be honest with you, sister, nothing makes them different because the attribute of a griot also is a warrior. If you run down what the attributes, the characteristics of a griot, every griot don't serve in these capacities, but a griot is also not only just a storyteller, it's a teacher. It's not only a teacher, it's a historian. It's not only a historian, it's a mediator. It's not only a mediator, but it's a warrior, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's a strategist, especially when it comes to war. They were the ones who was also giving the warriors, these strategic strategies in order to win the war and so forth. But they was also warriors as well. So there's no difference between the two. And we know a scholar is also an intellectual. A griot is also an intellectual as well because he teaches, he shares information, he conveys information. He's also a historian where he preserves the history and the culture as well. So it's really no difference between the two.
I want to chime in on that real fast, Kofi. It's a series on Netflix. I don't know if Netflix still got it or not. Sometimes they let the certain shows go, right? It's a show on there called Marco Polo, right? Marco Polo. And in that series, the main character is a scholar. He is a scribe. And the king uses him to go around and bring back intel for their war. And he is also a trained warrior. He's also a highly trained fighter. You know what I'm saying? So that warrior scholar, there is no great separator in those concepts, man. Those are the greatest warriors, the greatest fighters. They are smart men.
That's right, thinkers.
You ever heard of Floyd break down boxing? Floyd Mayweather? You ever heard Mike Tyson break down boxing? Sugar Ray Leonard? Like, you're not just a brute.
Yep.
Boxing is called a sweet science. It's not just after the club 2 a.m, y'all drunk, just swinging. It's a science I'm breaking down doing this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
I hope we answer your question, sis. Dear B says, Sin Sean, you mean that you've been an artist and a smarty pants for years? It's given alien.
She love picking on me. She love throwing the jab. She love throwing the jab at me. She love picking on me.
She says, Sean P been writing since the beginning of the internet. Don't date yourself, bro. Now that's funny. That's funny. That is funny. Oh, man. All right, let's get back into it. So, when preparing to write a book, what is your creative process from initial concept to outlining to the final execution?
It's funny you ask this question because we did our face-off interview show about 2 years ago, give or take. We did the modern day griot, and I actually had a clip I put up a couple of days ago, and I was literally showing my writing process, right? But like, man, most times, some of the most simple things cross my mind. I can watch something on TV, a little small commercial. I can have a small conversation with you or Dr. Wade or somebody like that. The smallest word or phrase can get said and it spark a whole concept in my mind, right? I immediately go to a piece of paper of some sort and I write down whatever that topic is in the middle of the paper and put a circle around it. I think to myself, what do I want to talk about this topic? And I start just branching off of that bubble, branching off. And then whenever you look at it, that's all my chapter title. And then per bubble, what do I want to say about that in more detail? I start branching off again from that. That become my subtitle. And whenever you see the whole thing in totality, that's the chapters, that's the subtitles, in the middle, the title of the book. So I take that format and go to another piece of paper, and now I'm doing your standardized school outline, 1A, 1B, Roman numerals, et cetera, breaking it down. And then every time I sit for a writing session, I look at that outline like, okay, today, what do I want to speak about the most today? What's really calling my heart right now? And I was saying in that video, I don't write in a linear fashion most times. I'm not writing chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. In some books that I wrote, I did chapter 1 last.
Right. I remember you
in some
saying
books that I wrote, I did chapter 4 at the end. The modern day griot, I did chapter 4 last.
Yeah.
Because other parts of the book was just calling my name first. You know what I'm saying? So that just kind of sort of example from concept to the process to manifesting it and some of what it looked like.
Right.
I do the same thing writing a speech. I do the same thing when I'm doing content, like making you live videos and whatnot. It's always that same kind of format. And so for doing it for so long, I don't really do it on paper anymore. It sounds kind of crazy. I kind of do it more mentally now. Like the same kind of concept.
Right.
I'm almost in my mind doing it. Kind of like when they talk about Jay-Z just mumbling, and then you go in the booth and just do it. It's not really writing it on paper, but you still have a way of formulating it in a certain format. Right. So there's something there. It's not like it's just out your mind, pulling from the air. There's still something that's just not in the handwritten format.
Yeah, I mean, you when you've been doing something for so long, you begin to perfect it, right? So some of the tools that you use, you no longer need those tools because you've perfected it. So you already know what to do. So and that's kind of like in the same way, in a sense, like I don't have to write a lot of things down because I've been doing it for so long. I got it right here. So when it's time to do it, I already know what to do because I've been doing it for so long because I perfected. I don't longer need that piece of paper, or I don't no need to go to my notes and my phone to write it down so I won't forget it because I already got a repetition, a ideal or a format or a set of things that I've been using for years. So I already know. I already know it. I don't need this tool. I don't need this piece of paper. I don't need this pen. I don't need to go into my notes anymore because I've got it right here. So when I get started, I can eliminate some of the other tools that I've used because.
So the blessing of that is whenever you come to me and say, Sean, I want to write about this certain concept. I want you to do a forward for me or introduction for me, or Dr. Wade might come, man, do chapter 2 for me, or whatever it might look like as far as the proposal. That's how I get to it so much faster than normal because it's like I can skip some of these processes now and get straight to it because I've been so long doing this, man. This is like 9 years writing, man. As far as like publishing, Wish Your Kid came out almost 9 years ago, man. So I've got a process down that I can duplicate and it worked for me. So why change it?
Right. And I just wanted to, you to share your process, with the people because this, I'm interviewing, but this also is a learning thing for other people too that may want to look at, and see what the process look, even though every writer process is different. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
different, yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I think that's the main takeaway I want anybody that want to write to learn from this conversation. There is no one way.
that's right.
I spent years studying a lot of the top selling authors and other kind of authors and just studying people and just hearing their routines and their process is vastly different.
Yep.
Some of them swear by writing first thing in the morning, 5 in the morning. I
Yep.
write
Yep.
2-3 hours.
Mhm.
Some of them
Yep.
swear like myself, I'm 2 or 3 at night writing.
Mhm.
Some of
Yeah.
them said, man, I don't believe in doing an outline. Some of them
Yeah.
got a real detailed outline. I can't start before an outline.
Yeah.
So there's so many sweeping ways. I would advise trying everything
Mhm.
and find which one that stick to you. Like, man, you know what? I like this morning thing.
Yeah.
Some folks need to have a coffee shop. They need to have candles. They need to have whatever. Some
Yeah.
folks go into the doggone the wilderness and write. They go into nature. Like
Yeah.
our brother Keith, he like sitting in his backyard. You got trees, you got the birds flying and landed. You got fruits and vegetables growing around. Like he love to be in the nature outside, 90-something degree weather. You want to write outside. That's
Yep.
his thing.
Yep. The brother I interviewed the other night, he said he likes to write near the water. He likes to go near the water and listen to the water. So it's so many, and you know, like you said, I've heard so many people use the different times they like to write. And me personally, I like to write at late at night / early in the morning. And for me, it's like everything is like more calm. And what I mean by everything is calm, everything is still. Most people are asleep. You don't have
Yeah.
so many different
Yeah.
brain waves and
Yeah.
stuff going and popping
Come on,
everywhere.
bro.
It's calm. So it
Yeah.
gives me a more
Yeah.
sense of writing. That's where my inspiration and my creativity flows more, is late at night / early in the early in the
Man.
morning, because most of the people are asleep.
Let me tell you, if you are not a nocturnal person, for those of us that are nocturnal people, something about like midnight and past midnight, midnight to me feel like 12 p.m. for everybody else.
Yeah.
Something about 12 at night, it's like, man, it's time to turn up. No, it's time to get going.
Yep.
I'm just freaking off. So
For
people I'm
sure.
talking to, I'm about to go lay it down. I'm going to get in the bed. I'm like, man, you laying it down. I'm getting coffee right now. It's time to get turned. So it's 12 at night. I got lights on. I got the music playing. I got YouTube playing. So if you live with a household, it could be kind of unorthodox. You know what I mean? Like, damn, why you up? Like,
Yeah.
it could be
Exactly.
different if you're that. And so people around you got to understand that. People that's in your life got to understand. And guess what, Kofi? One of my baby cousins, she's still a baby, right? She already like that. From the womb, she up all night.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, she a good baby. She ain't like crying and cutting up, but she up though, just laying there. Like, and I was like, bro, she gonna need a night job. She gonna need a night job.
Yeah.
And she already out the womb like that.
Yeah.
Man, that's how I was.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah.
We definitely night owls, man.
The sinners. The sinners.
Yeah, man. Your latest release, The Bounce Back Season, blends elements of inspiration, personal reflection, spiritual insight. How would you categorize this book within the self-help genre? What will you categorize this genre as?
Man, hopefully the bounce back season, hopefully as far as categorizations, I hate categories normally, but I know in the book world, everything got to fall into a certain category for different reasons, right? They got rankings and all that other kind of stuff. And that's a different conversation, but I would say inspirational, man.
Inspiration.
I think the bounce back season is meant to be an inspirational book to speak to somebody, because we all go through hardships, we all go through trials and tribulations, man. And for a lot of us, this is an ongoing thing. It's not like one fork in the road happened and you get over it and now life's just sweet, life's just good. Like, no, it's like being a firefighter constantly putting out fires. You go to this one scene, you put the fire out, like, woo, man, that was close. Before you know it, the next call coming. I be going across town. Life is more so like that versus, oh, it's one big fire. Ooh, we did it, y'all. We can retire. We good. Like, no, that ain't what life is.
Yeah, no,
This is more like a back to back. Oh man, the car broke down. Bang. You got more than one vehicle. Damn, that car broke down. Man, my job tripping. Man, somebody just died. Man, you know, I don't feel good. I'm in the hospital for a couple of weeks. Like, it's all these back-to-back things that's coming on like an onslaught. And it's like, how do you navigate that? How do you get through that? And still get your goals, still get to have a fulfilling life, still get to have a joyous life, still have love in your heart. How do you navigate that and come on the other side clean? That's what this is all about,
man. Man, we definitely go and you're describing that right now is definitely like what this is. This is definitely what this is. The bounce back season is definitely it's definitely inspirational. It's definitely
let me do it, right? So I started doing this book 3 or 4 years ago, bro. When I first started writing the bounce back season as a concept, hypothetically in my mind on paper, man, things was going so good for me at that time in my life, to be honest. When I started writing the bounce back season.
Hold on. Let me answer the question. And there you go. You do this every time I interview you. And for the record, y'all, for the record. Hold on, for the record. Me and Sean has been interviewing people for years, right? And through the process of interviewing, a lot of people up front want questions in advance, right? I like when I'm interviewing people, I like for the interview to be organic, right? I want it to be organic. But, you know, it's all about my guests because they're the guests. So we got to comply to the guests. So if the guests want the questions, we send the questions to the guests in advance, right? But, you know, not every guest is like that on this show or on the Griot podcast, on Sitting with the Griots, on Sean's podcast, right? You know, but we always, when we interview each other or it's always organic. And when if we're discussing and having an interview, it's like, especially for him, he'll get ahead of himself. He don't know what I'm going to ask him. He just goes straight into it. I'm like, that's why I had to stop him, because he always jump ahead before I get to the question, right? Oh, he said that man about to drop.
Okay, cool. Let me do it like this. Go ahead.
Yeah, these interviews never know how they gonna turn out. That's right. So,
all right, let me do it like this. I'm gonna give you a better way I was going, right? Do what I was saying.
But let me answer the question, because you finna go into it. So let me ask the question.
I'm gonna say something different. I get phone calls and emails on a daily basis, like, man, Sean, you know, this thing just happened. Man, Sean, this thing just happened. On a daily basis, somebody hit me up about a tragedy or about some kind of conflict in their life, right? And it's almost like such is life. Like this thing is gonna always be happening. It's gonna always be happening. So my only point is, if there's something you really want to do, if something you really want to achieve or accomplish, you might as well do it right now anyway. It's not like I'm gonna get past this storm and then I'm gonna go and start the business. I'm gonna get past this storm and then I'm gonna go to school. Like, bro, it's gonna always be it's literally cloudy outside right now. When I'm looking right now, it's literally cloudy right now outside. Right. It's always gonna be a storm coming.
Right. It's never gonna be a good time.
It's never gonna be a good time. It's never gonna be calm.
Yes.
The account never stacked enough. Like, those things don't exist, bro.
Right. That's a fact.
That's just being honest.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's definitely a fact. I definitely agree with you, man. Definitely agree with you in you know, interview I was doing with your brother, the Black-owned business, and he was some of the same things you saying now. He was telling that you told him, just do it. It's never gonna be a good time. You just gotta start. You just gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? And it's not gonna be a good time. And this is why this book here is such a great thing, right? And we gonna get into it, man. We're gonna talk a little bit more about it, because I love this book. You know, so much. You know, I got a chance to read it because, you know, it went through my company, Same Tree Different Brands Publishing Company. You know, it was published through us. And I got a chance to read it, you know what I'm saying, and edit it before anybody else got a chance to put their eyes on it. And I love it so much because we talk about these things amongst ourselves a lot, you know what I'm saying? And this is what it's all about. It's about inspiring and motivating and uplifting and pulling each other up when we feel low. You know what I'm saying? Hey, come on, you got to get up. You got to get up. You got too much to do. You got too much to offer to the world. We can't let your hard work go in vain. You started this, you gonna finish it. So this is definitely what this book is about, man. So go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I want to speak on that right just real fast about the finishing part, right? At the beginning of the year, but the end of last year, I told myself the word for the year is finish.
Mm-hmm.
And we got 4 months left in this year. I told myself at the top of the year, the word for the year is the word finish. Mm-hmm. So this book being in my hand right now is a manifestation of that principle. Mm-hmm. I started doing this 3-4 years ago and put it to the side. For whatever reason. I can't even remember why I stopped writing the book. Mm-hmm. I put it to the side. I did other projects in between that. You know, the modern day griot, the dreams and visions, rhyme and reason, how to write a book, how to write a speech. I did all these projects in between pausing it into now. And I just had to go back to it and finish it, man. Had to go back and finish it.
No doubt. So I understand. Just, you know, that was the question. I understand you began writing the Bounce Back season a few years ago, but set it aside for a time. What inspired you? Okay, now what inspired you to revisit the manuscript now and complete it in 2025?
Man, you know, they said nothing beat God timing, right? God timing is always supreme, it's perfect. Like I said, when I started this 3 or 4 years ago, man, this is like almost 2 or 3 jobs ago when I started doing this book. At that point in my life, man, you know, my grandfather's health was in a way better place. At that point in my life, everything around me was way different. You know, everything around me was in a totally different, better place. Mm-hmm. So it's funny, I put the book down, I go through all of these trials, all these tribulations. My grandfather passed 8 months ago, and some of y'all might know that. I probably gained and lost jobs 2-3 times in between that. You know, other parts of my life, you know, on what they was 3 or 4 years ago. And so it was like, wow, for the first time ever, I got to motivate and inspire myself by my own words. The things that I had written in the book at that point before I stopped, I had to go back to it and look at it again. I had to make myself bounce back. I had to make myself shake back. I had never experienced depression before. I had never experienced anxiety before. I had never experienced a lot of these things you might hear about and talk about. I had never personally gone through those things before. Now, those that don't know, my degrees are in psychology. So I spend years with clients trying to pull them out of depression, trying to help them calm down anxiety, et cetera, et cetera. I never do it myself before. Now I'm trying to self-medicate off myself, basically.
Okay.
But that's what brought this back to fruition right now, man. So what I was going through myself and what I'm going through, not going through, like past tense, like I said before, it's ongoing, man. Like things are still happening. Things are still unfolding. Things are still, you know what I'm saying? So you just pressing through it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's you know, that's life. I was just talking to my daughter, and she was asking me, my daughter's 14, and she was asking me about religion, why God would put us through certain things, you know, and so I was just talking to her about life. I was talking to her about ups and downs. You know, that's a part of life. I was talking to her about these things wouldn't exist without the other one. So your entire life, you're going to be going through something that you feel like that is the worst, that is bad. Why I'm being tested? Why is it a God? Why God is putting me through these things? You know, so it's always going to be, you're going to be at a time in your life where you feel like you at your highest, you at on top of the world, you on Kilimanjaro. And there's going to be times when you feel like you 9 volts up under the ground. You know what I'm saying? That's just how life, it ebbs and flows. It goes up, it goes down. There's always going to be things. So when there's good things, there's going to be bad things, because good cannot exist without bad. So you're going to go through bad things. You're going to go through you're gonna go through trials, you're gonna go through tribulations, you know what I'm saying? But it's how you come out of that. What are you gonna do to come out of that? How you gonna overachieve? How you gonna,
Yeah.
you know, to come
Yeah.
out of those different things? So I talked to
You know,
her about certain things. Go ahead.
you know what, Kofi? One of my favorite quotes. They said the only people with no worries, they're in the graveyard, man.
Mm-hmm.
The only folks with no worries, no troubles,
Mm-hmm.
no in their mind, they're in the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
From the womb to the tomb is going to be trial and tribulation. That's just what this life is. I don't know why society, our parents sometimes, teachers, religion, other parts of life, they make you think you get to a certain place, and then it's going to be smooth, it's going to be calm, it's going to be joy and music in the background. Like, that don't exist, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Because even whenever I befriend very wealthy people and we talking one-on-one, they start telling me their problems
Mm-hmm.
and what they going through.
Yes.
When I get around highly successful people of a certain caliber, we start talking one-on-one and they telling me their problems. So it just tells me there is no peak. There is no place where it's just, it don't exist, bro.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's definitely what I was telling my daughter yesterday when we was outside sitting, man. But in chapter 1, you discuss a concept of a vision board. Vision, action, and blindsided vision. Could you explain the meaning of blindsided vision and why is it important?
So in that vision board, the vision board chapter, so as a public speaker, a lot of times for a lot of years around New Year's, man, I get various organizations and companies that call me like, Sean, look, we're having a vision board party for the staff. We're gonna have all these posters and markers and colors, and we're gonna have all these hundreds of magazines to cut out the magazine. We're gonna have food, we're gonna have drinks, we're gonna have snacks. I want you to come and speak to the staff before we do the vision board process, kind of set the tone. I might have did 4 or 5 years of that, bro, like every New Year. But I realized the common thing, we do all this stuff together, right? It's a good time, everybody doing their selfies and pictures and all that going live. But like the next week or so, you take that wonderful poster you made and just put it in the trunk of your car. You just put it in the closet. You just put it, you know, I call it painting with a twist. If you ever go painting with a twist with your spouse or with your family or whatever, yeah, this one night, y'all drinking wine, drinking whatever y'all drink, turning up, you painting, but not many people actually hang those things on their wall at their house.
Mm-hmm.
And like for us in our household, we've gone painting with a twist so many times, we got a closet full of paintings. Because it can even all go up. So people treat their vision board like painting with a twist, is what I said in the book. Like, it's just a cool idea and the concept, but you're not actually doing something to make this vision board tangible, to make things manifest in your life. You're not putting it where you're looking at it every day. Every few weeks or months, going back to it and evaluating, okay, I said I wanted to get a brand new house or whatever. Am I really getting close to that? Am I doing the steps it takes to get close to that? Am I going to the bank, talk to the bank people? Am I getting my credit straight? Am I doing these processes to get to that thing? If not, it's just a pie in the sky dream. It's a pie in the sky thing. If I'm not doing action items, right? So, you know, it's just, I got tired of seeing that, man. I got tired of seeing that. And so when I talk about the blindsided part, when I did this in 2020, we didn't know as a country, as a world, we didn't know about the COVID-19 pandemic right around the corner. So just think, we did the vision board thing in January. COVID-19 hit around Mardi Gras here is like around February, give or take. The pandemic hit about a month or two later. We in the pandemic. We going on lockdown, schools closing, jobs closing, everybody in fear. And so many people are dying. Millions of people are dying. Like, so we had no idea that was coming. And 2020, we always say 2020 is about what? Vision, right? Yeah, 2020 vision was that the best vision ever. So everything I did for the 2020 presentation was about vision. At the time, the movie that came out, what's that movie called? Oh, Bird Box. Bird Box.
Mhm.
And if the lady sitting there with the black blindfold on, right? I use that as one of my images in that presentation.
Okay.
It's about
Oh,
vision.
yeah.
But the pandemic came, and then we all got blindsided. We all got off track.
Yep.
We all had our goals put to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of us thrived in the pandemic, started businesses. Some of us started. I wrote 4 books.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us got healthier and started doing entrepreneurial things. All that happened, but then a lot of people was just totally sidelined for the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
So again, how you gonna play it? How you gonna take it?
Right.
Is this the opportunity I have to be productive, or is it, man, I gotta wait till the pandemic finishes.
Yeah.
I gotta wait till the pandemic. That don't exist. Cause guess what? COVID-19 is still going on. By the way,
Yeah.
I know folks that got COVID right now.
Yeah.
So it didn't go away. We just stopped talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you're right, man. And it's so, I see that every year. People make those vision boards and they post them, even if they're not going to the places. They make the vision boards at the house and they posting it on social media. This is my vision board. They talking about their vision board, and then a few months later, they not even working on the things that they supposed to be doing, or just start the vision board but never execute it. Never figure out the steps in the process of achieving each one of those goals. You know what I'm saying? Those tasks that they want to accomplish or achieve, in the following year. Then we have some that do get the process together, follow the steps, but then something later on comes down the line, like you said, and blindside them, something out of their control, and then they completely lose it after this is happening. You know what I'm saying? But, I try to tell a lot of the people I fool with, don't ever let your work go, and especially if you start your work and people start to see the process in your work, and you're building up your work, you're building up your brand, your service, or whatever the case, and then something hit, and then you just all of a sudden you just want to stop. You want to stop moving toward accomplishing this goal or getting this goal to the highest level or peak as possible, because something has hit that's out of your control, and so all you want to do is just stop. Things are always going to happen, but the world is going to continue. You shouldn't stop neither. You should continue to go on. You should figure out how to work through it, because a lot of times it can be all of the work that you put in. It's like when you finally get through of whatever it is that you're going through, and you just completely shut down, and now you want to open it back up and revisit again. Sometimes it's like all that work you put in, now you got to start. It's like you starting over, because you have got people to believe into what, or buy into what you have got going on, and start supporting you. And then you just go cold turkey because a life lesson hit you and you don't know how to take it. And then now you want to come back, and now you got all that work that you put in, that 6 months, that year you put in. Now it's like you starting over from scratch.
I tell you what, Kofi, coming from the fitness background, one of the worst feelings ever is starting over, dog. If you done lost a certain amount of pounds, and got your body a certain kind of way, you done bought brand new clothes that fit different, you done did all this stuff, but you get sidelined or sidetracked, and you done slacked off, and now you 30 pounds up, 30, 40 pounds up. Like, man, I'm back on this treadmill again. I'm back trying to measure myself again and weigh my food again. Like, that's one of the worst feelings, versus the maintenance process, the continuation process. That's starting from the beginning process. That's a hard place to be in, man.
Oh, yes, it is. Definitely.
Hard place to be in.
It definitely is, man. Chapter 2, man.
Yes, sir.
Reference a quote from Les Brown. If you fall down, fall on your back, because if you can look up,
I can
get up. God damn it.
If I can look up, I can get up.
Man, that's a powerful quote, boy.
Yeah.
So you also write that if you are failing, you are still trying. Can
Yes.
you expand on this perspective and its role in its resilience, man? Because that's important, man. That's definitely important.
Yeah. I would always say this, right? And I love using a physical example because it's the best example is physical, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of these people right now on social media, these fitness enthusiasts on social media, you can go and scroll through their whole page and never see them miss a lift. You never see them not complete a workout or not complete a run. Like you think every time they go in the gym, everything's just perfect once again. They just so goddamn good. That's not reality, bro. And if it is reality, guess what? That tells me you're not challenging yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing things that are comfortable to you. You're doing things inside of your wheelhouse. You're not putting 20, 30 more pounds on the bar and trying to lift that.
Mm-hmm.
You did so many 5Ks, go and do a 10K. You're not pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone, beyond your limit. So the more you're failing, quote unquote, the more you're failing, it's telling me you're trying. You're trying to grow yourself. You're trying to expand yourself. So failing isn't failing.
Mm-hmm.
Failing is you growing and pushing yourself. And guess what? Even in the times when something didn't work, it's not a loss, it's a lesson, right?
That's a fact. That's
It's not a loss, it's a lesson. I know next time what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
I know next time how to go about it in a different way. But if I never even tried, I could not gain that lesson.
That's right. That's
I
right.
could not gain that lesson, bro. So I think, again, people want to start a business. You got a business idea. Are you thinking about going back to college? Are you thinking about whatever? And that fear of failure is so heavy on you. Like, man, what if I try to go to school and it don't work? Guess what, Kofi? Life gonna still go on.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna flunk out and come back to your house and life's still happening, right? You're not gonna just all of a sudden die because it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But we always act as if, man, I started this business thing, I get the logo, get the LLC, I did the business account at the bank, I did all that, and the business don't work,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna die. Like, no, you ain't gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna pack it up, you're gonna close the shop down and go on with your life and it's gonna actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you embrace that, it becomes less and less scary.
Mm-hmm.
You're willing to take more and more risks.
Mm-hmm.
So before I start something, I ask myself, what is the worst case scenario? Oh, wow, that's it? I'm gonna lose the money. Okay. I mean, money come and go anyway. We get paid on Monday, we pay bills on Friday. Money come and go anyway. So that shouldn't scare me. I'm gonna lose some money, I'm gonna lose some time. Okay, I can deal with that. It's not gonna kill me or my family.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it.
Right. But you had to look at it like this too. You know what I'm saying? Failing is a lesson. And there's been many people, successful people, that has failed numerous times before they was able to get to the top and be
Oh my
successful.
God, bro. Yes.
But the thing was they didn't lay down and cry about it. Like they said, they packed up everything and went back, and then they went back to the drawing board and started over. And if they failed again, the thing was they got back up. They got back up again, as your quote said, if you fall down, fall on your back, because if you look up, you can get up, right? So always when you fail and you fall on your back so you can look up, so you can get up and you can try it again.
Again, yeah, bro. It's this famous Michael Jordan commercial. I love this commercial. I don't know if it was the Gatorade commercial or an Air Jordan commercial, right? But Jordan gave a number of how many games he took the last second shot and missed.
Mm-hmm.
It was a crazy amount of games, bro. But we all just see Michael Jordan, the Jump Man symbol, the 6 championship rings. We all think about that. He named like 700 something games, whatever it was. But the game was on the line, he took the shot and he missed.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not talked about when it comes to Michael Jordan. How many times did billionaires go bankrupt?
Mm-hmm.
The more you read biographies and see, wow, they went bankrupt that many times. Mm-hmm. They started over that many times. Mm-hmm. They lost that many businesses. They had their house foreclosed that many times. They was homeless. And somebody, just keep on reading biographies. That's why reading is important. Mm-hmm. Keep on reading biographies, autobiographies. You see all the failures right there.
Yep.
the things
Yep.
that didn't work. But we only
Yep.
highlight the highlights.
Yep.
We
That's
we
it.
live in a highlight society, bro.
Yep.
Highlights.
Yep.
I might
That's
try 4, 5, 6 t-shirts, put it online, t-shirts not selling at all. And then 20 years later, that one t-shirt that popped, you like, man, he got a successful t-shirt brand. I
but
done
you
did
don't.
20 years of flops,
Yep.
but you finally paying attention.
Yep.
A lot of your favorite authors, it's like society all of a sudden said, oh, Dr. Imani Perry, South to America, wow, all these awards, all that. She had so many books before that book came out. That's fire. And that's why whenever she is on my show, I don't talk about the popular books. I go and talk about the books in the past that was
Mhm.
just as good that she wrote, but it didn't get the notoriety, didn't get the marketing, didn't get the push. But y'all
Mhm.
think she just came out last year?
Mhm.
Man, she been here.
Yep.
You know, that's how it goes, man.
Yep. Most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah. But hold on, let me go back. I would try to read Dear B things. So she said, point of correction. People don't mind other folks' businesses enough. Mind other people's businesses and learn something. And she'll tell you she don't mind minding somebody else's business. She said she knows it, but that's just what you gotta be. When you learn it, you know what I'm saying? That's why you said read these autobiographies. You will learn a lot
Yes.
of these successful peoples on
So,
what they went through to get to where they was at and how many times they failed. But the point of every time they fell down, they got right back up and they tried it again. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah,
that. Yep.
yeah.
That's definitely what it's about, man.
Some of the most famous people was homeless, bro. The Rock, Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Mhm.
Always tell the story about having $7 change in his pocket.
Mhm.
The football thing didn't work. He got
Mhm.
$7 in change in his pocket.
Mhm.
Oprah Winfrey, her
Mhm.
story. Tyler
Yep.
Perry,
Yes.
homeless, living
Oh,
in your vehicle and whatnot. You know what I'm
billionaire.
saying?
Mhm.
You know,
Yep.
it's various guys out there living on people's couches and living in a basement somewhere. And like they did years. Eric Thomas, homeless,
Mhm.
eating out of trash cans. Now you
Mhm.
the number one public speaker in the world,
Mhm.
but you was eating out of trash cans.
Yep.
Like these are just common stories, bro. So whenever we quote unquote fail, you should feel like, man, I'm on track.
Mhm.
According to the history, if
Mhm.
I'm failing and I feel depressed, I feel defeated, I'm actually on target. I'm on track.
Mhm. Yep.
I'm on course.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Man, this is good. This is good. In the chapter Revise Your Dreams, you encourage readers to revisit and breathe life into abandoned dreams and goals. Why was this message so important for you to share in this book?
Because again, being in the medical world, right? So those that don't know, I worked in a hospital setting for like 4 or 5 years in the emergency room. You got to think, a person go to the ER for one reason only. It's the worst time in their life. If you wasn't that sick or something wasn't going on that wrong, you go to the urgent care or your family practitioner or whatever. If you're looking at me at 2 in the morning, this is a very dire situation. I'm in the emergency room around gunshot victims, stabbing victims, people having a heart attack, people having a stroke. Like I'm seeing life and death all the time in the hospital, right? I'm seeing people that overdosed and they give them that Narcan and bring them back to life. You ever saw a person come back to life for real? Real life, not a movie, real life come back to life?
Mhm.
That's a crazy thing, man. But so
Yeah.
many people in the world have a dream or goal. They get hit by something, right? And knock them out. But the dream not dead.
Mhm.
That chapter is all about doing that mouth-to-mouth CPR on your dream and bring it back to life.
Like resuscitating. Mhm.
Give that shot to your dream and bring it back to life.
Mhm.
Give it
Yes,
that
sir.
shock treatment and bring it back
Mhm.
to life. But so many people say, man, you know what? I want to have a t-shirt brand. I put 4 or 5 shirts out. It didn't really sell. Took the website down and, like the dream in the graveyard somewhere. Like, bro,
Mhm.
you can still do a t-shirt brand. That idea is still a good idea. But I think sometimes whenever something not an instant hit, we think, man, that was a bad idea.
But that's what the
That was
problem.
a bad idea.
Yeah, but that's where the problem comes in though, because a lot of times if you study business and you study how people and you study investments and people investing in these businesses, whether it's an online business or it's a brick and mortar, sometimes your investment, it just depends on what the business is. It takes 3 to 5 years to make your money back from your investment, right? So you got to keep working at it. But people, like you said earlier, people they'll go do the research far as find or make sure that this name is not usable. Get the name, get the LLC, right? You go down, you got your EIN number, your tax ID number, et cetera, et cetera. You go to the bank, you give them that, you get your business account, you got your business account set up, you go get your website, you go pay for a website, or you build a website, 1 page, 3 page, or you get your landing page. You may invest in getting you a advertisement, such and such, and then you thinking that because you did all these things, okay, I done invested and got the bank account, got the LLC, I got the advertisement, I got the commercial, I got the website. I'm finna start making money out the yin yang, but that's just not realistic. It's not gonna happen like that. It's not gonna happen like that. You're not gonna I invested in my publishing company in 2020, and it took me a year and a half just to make my investment back. All the money that I spent, because I paid for information. I went through an internship. One of Sean's close friends, went through Cliff, and Cliff educated me on the business aspect of it. He helped me properly set up my publishing company. He gave me a better understanding of the business world. He gave me an understanding of the importance of a one-stop shop. So, where I have everything in detail, you know what I'm saying? Not just because most of the time us as authors, we got to go find an editor. Then we got to find a person that does the graphics. We got to find somebody to advertise. We got to find somebody to build us a website. So we paying all these different things. Instead of going through one main source. So, but anyway, it took me a while. I could have been like after 6 months, well, God damn, I done damn near invested $10,000 and I ain't made none of that. It's 6 months later. But no, I understood that it was going to take some time in order to make that investment back and then start to make a profit and start to make some money. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us, go ahead. Because sports is always the ultimate thing because it's so clear. There's a winner and there's a loser. There's no in between in sports most times. You can do everything right and still lose the game. Mm-hmm.
That's a harsh reality.
That's it.
You can go out there and do everything you planned correctly, all the preparation, all of the practices. You can do everything right and still lose the game. It's not guaranteed because you did all this work. You will automatically get a win. It's not guaranteed like that. And life is the same way. Business like that.
Mm-hmm.
So all the steps you just named, you feel justified to get success. Like, man, I did all of this. You can do all of that and still fail.
Mm-hmm.
There is no guarantee on this thing, man.
Yeah.
It's not what this is.
But you have people you have so many people that go into it like that. You know what I'm saying? You said
$10,000, right? The average person might think, man, I put money into it. Yeah. I invested in myself. See, doing these self-help books, people think, man, I did everything Sean said in this book. I did everything Sean said and it still didn't work. Does that make Sean a liar?
Mm-mm.
It don't.
Mm-mm.
I never give a guarantee on none of these things. Mm-hmm. These are ideas and principles and concepts to live by. It does not guarantee success.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care what book it is. You can go get any book on the shelf. You can read it and follow it page for page. Try to actually do it. It don't guarantee it's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what this is, man.
But that don't mean that you should give up on it. That doesn't mean that you should give up on
it.
No, you shouldn't give up. And there B says, following the playbook does not always mean success. It merely shows your ability to follow through. You need you need to follow through for success. Again, you just have to follow through. You have to continue at it. You know what I'm saying? You just have to continue at it till you get to wherever it is that you want to be, where you want to be. So, you just can't give up. You just can't give up at one sign of trouble. You got to keep pushing through.
You know what, Kofi, I want to say? You missed the clip, right? I saw the clip last week. So here in this Louisiana, Lafayette area, when I did my first book 8-9 years ago, and Cliff did his first book, it was so many people in the area, all of a sudden, they coming out with books, all these books everywhere. And they all swear they're public speakers, they all swear they're authors, right? Ask me how many people in this surrounding area are still making books right now, 8-9 years later. I'll wait. How many people still doing public speaking gigs and shows? How many people still doing any kind of thing like that? There's not many left. But Cliff and I are still doing it. This is a war of attrition. We mentioned being a warrior earlier. This is a war of attrition. This is a war of survival of the fittest. How much could you withstand? It's not because I'm greater than anybody else or better than anybody else. My endurance and my patience is a little bit higher. That's the only difference. They didn't show you got 13 books. How you got 13 books? Because I just kept on trying. And some folks did 1 or 2 books and didn't get what they wanted to get, and then they left. Some folks did 1 or 2 shows and didn't get what they wanted to get, and then they left. I just kept on being hard-headed, being stubborn about it. And the whole time, adversity is happening. The whole time, things are going on. The whole time.
Yeah.
And here we are, number 13. In the middle of everything going on.
Yeah. Most definitely, man. Man, time is flying, man. This is my last and final question, my brother.
Yes, sir.
And ultimate, what is the key takeaway you hope every reader willing to gain from your book, The Bounce Back Season?
Man, the ultimate lesson, bro, as I said earlier, adversity is going to come for you. Not maybe, not might, not this and that. It's going to happen. We're in our 40s, right? And I realized something. Whenever you was a little kid and your parents be in the house on the house phone with the car phone, and they be in the kitchen talking, yeah, man, so-and-so just died last night. Man, I went to so-and-so funeral Saturday. It seemed like you hearing conversation like somebody always dying. Why they always going to funerals all the time? But now that we in our 40s and we at that age to where our peers are passing. We at that age to where our grandparents and our parents, now they're elders, and they're slowly but surely passing, right? So now we know more death than we ever did before, right? Unlike our childhood. So adversity is going to happen, adversity is going to come. What are you going to do to bounce back? What's your contingency plan whenever that happens? So in the building, most times there's a plan. When they got a fire escape, there's a fire drill, there's a place to go and meet up at. We're going to tally up all the people. We're going to do this and that. What is your emergency plan for whenever adversity happens? I want my readers to start thinking about that in advance, man. Start thinking about when adversity hit, what's my little things I'm going to go to until I can shake back, until I can bounce back. Who could I lean on? Who could I depend on? What could I have already in place? You know what I'm saying? So I want them to get that out of this book. Start preparing yourself and start getting those things in place to have continued success, man.
Man, that's some great advice, man. Some great advice. Man, I always enjoy, when we get together, man, and we do anything, man. I always enjoy it, man. So where can people find your new book, The Bounce Back Season, and how long is the pre-sale order?
Okay, but before I got one question for you, Kofi.
Okay, go ahead.
The interviewee has a question. You did a wonderful job on the afterword, right? Afterword is written by our brother Kofi. Afterward, right? Dr. Wade in the room. Dr. Wade did introduction, and I have other people inside the book as well, as far as the prologue, forwards, things of that nature. Whenever you did your afterword, what came to your mind? You sat down for the first time to write the afterword. What were you feeling? What were you going with it when you sat down to write it?
Man, really, I went in the same direction you went in. Like when you told me about it and I started reading, I was giving you some feedback about, man, I love it, because this is my lane. I love talking about these things about, fear and coming through on the other side and, bouncing back, you know what I'm saying? So I just took it, took from the pieces from each chapters that you talked about, you know what I'm saying, and combined it with what I kind of went through, you know what I'm saying, what I kind of seen other people going through, and, some steps when you are going through what you're going through, how to overcome some of these trials and tribulations, you know what I'm saying, that you going through, man. You know what I'm saying? Took me some time to write it because I wanted to make sure that it made sense. And I wanted to make sure that you like it, because anytime that you're writing something for someone else, you want it to be you want it to be the best that it can be when you're writing something for someone, whether it's the dedicated forward, whether is the preference, whether it's the afterwards, you want it to be the best. You know what I'm saying? You want the author that selected you to make sure that, okay, I selected the right person to write this piece for the book. So, it took me a little time to write it, and once I got through with it, man, and I shot it to you, I was a little nervous, but once you gave me some feedback and you told me, man, yeah, you like it, I was like, okay, I'm dead on. And I said, I thought about it when I approached it. I can't go wrong writing it if I pull from every chapter that he already talked about and reiterated and highlight some of the key points I thought that was important to go into this afterwards so people can read it, so it can kind of be more of a summary report. Because once the book is complete, the body is done, I'm at the end of it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm the credits of it. So I got to make sure I'm writing the summary and giving a conclusion of everything that you talked about that was important in part of the book. So that was how I approached it. I wanted to make sure that I gave people a summary after they got through reading. I want to make sure, okay, let me give you a summary so you won't forget and highlight some of these key and essential points that he talked about in each one of these chapters.
Yeah. No, man, you said it was important for those that don't write, just to be an observer, to write somebody else's afterword, introduction, forward, anything like that. That's a large undertaking, bro.
Yes, it is.
And like, so your afterword, 1, 2, 3, 4, you might have did 5 or 6 pages in the afterword, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. But bro, writing 5 or 6 pages in somebody else's book, that might feel like more pressure than writing the whole entire project yourself of your own work. Because like you said before, somebody come and hire you to be a writer in their project, you want to make sure what I'm doing is up to that person's standard, that person's expectation. So whenever I'm asked to write for somebody else's project, I'd be nervous. I'd be like, man, I'm on the fence more than anything. I don't want to let them down, and I don't want to mess the project up. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I want to be on point with the project. I want to be at the same level of the project. So it could be very, very nerve-wracking writing somebody else's content.
For sure. That's why I said I would kind of take the safe side, and I'm gonna pull for what you said. I can't go wrong for pulling and highlighting from the chapters in the book. You know what I'm saying? It did add a little bit onto it. It did add my story onto it at the end. Because I told a personal story I went through. Right at the end of the afterword. You know what I'm saying? To kind of bring it on home and show that, okay, I also go through some of the same things, some of the same trials and tribulations. So Yeah, man. And
I know one of our sister Dr. Wade in the building. One of our sister favorite words this year is vulnerability. Like every book that we read for the Griot podcast, the Black Thought book, Tamika Mallory book, and other publications, Before You Climb Any Higher book,
yeah.
he always points to a person's vulnerability or their lack thereof in the publication, you know. And like, I think that piece you wrote in this afterword is probably the most vulnerable Kofi we probably ever saw thus far, man. The things you gave, the details, and what you were willing to uncover in your life. And I think that was a very, very heartfelt afterword. Anybody reading this, you're going to definitely look at Kofi with so much more respect and reverence and just, because again, people see us on these platforms and microphones, bro. They really, really think we don't go through nothing, man. They really think, oh man, Sean got a book coming out. Everything must be sweet. Man, Sean had 2 guests last week on his podcast. He on the other radio show. It must be sweet. Like, no, we're doing these things despite what's going on in our life.
That's right.
Before we press that live button, you don't know what just happened. And we press that conclusion button, you don't know what we're going back into. You just see in an hour or so of our life in the glimpse. You have no idea what we're having adversity and getting through, right? So you being vulnerable like that was so powerful for this project, and I'm grateful you did it in my project. That could have been some of your own writing, your own work with your own name on it, and you did that for the team. It is a testament to the person that you are as a man, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. And that's something I've been learning over the years is becoming more vulnerable, because these last 3 years, man, I have become more vulnerable, and then more wanting to share my story with people, because there's a lot of stuff that people don't know about me. And I was sharing with your brother Jay that I was, that's going to be in our Black Owned Business interview, and I was sharing with him, and I was telling him that some things I share with people be looking at me like I'm lying, but I'm like, I went through this. This is what really truly happened to me. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't let that define me. I didn't let that destroy me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, but I was ashamed over the years of being vulnerable and telling people and sharing my story. But over the years, I don't care about, I want this stuff will kill you if you hold it in. So I want to be more vulnerable. I want to be able to share what I went through and show people it's okay to go through it, but what you're going to do when you go through it, this is what it looked like when on the other side, when you go through it, when you don't let that defeat you. You know what I'm saying? So, and I owe that to, I owe that to Dr. Wade. The more I'm around certain individuals, the more, I look at, how they operate and, and how they treat me and how they treat others and how they're willing to share, what I'm saying, their story, and how willing they're, to have these selfless acts. It helps me. It helps me. It molds me and it shapes me, and say it's okay to be vulnerable. It don't make me less of a man to be a little emotional and be vulnerable.
You more of a man, not less than. You are more of a man for expressing yourself and to putting your heart on the page like that and exposing yourself, man. Doing these books, for those that's not writers, this is the ultimate exposing yourself, man. The things that I wrote in my first book 8-9 years ago, people are still going back to that, and they're probably going to still go back to that. So whenever you put something in this thing and you publish it, that's public record forever. For time memorial, that's in the record, man. So like, you put stuff like this in the page, man, it's really, really putting yourself out there. And I want to say this too, bro. Things that we think is embarrassing or is shameful or I really shouldn't talk about it, those are the very parts of content that our readers are going to attract to the most. Because unfortunately in this world, people attract to pain, bro. Because all of us go through pain. See, those that hit some success, maybe you get hit to be a millionaire. Maybe you get to be a best-selling author. Maybe you get to be a sensation or something. Everybody can't relate to that. We haven't all touched a lot of money. I can't relate to that. We haven't all touched certain levels of success. But we all done lost somebody. All done lost relationships. We all done lost jobs. We all done lost other things. So we can relate to, dang, you know what? I had that same thing happen to me, man. I was in that same place. You can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
So the more we express those parts of ourselves, that's that authenticity that people want.
Mm-hmm.
They want the most authentic thing, man.
Yep. That's a fact.
And that pace of pain is where it is sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Most definitely, man.
Yeah.
But
So to answer your question, where they can find it, man, same tree, differentbrands.com. My man Kofi right here. Yes, he did a phenomenal job on the cover. And what I love about Kofi is I can tell Kofi the most simple detail in a voice note. And that man make it come to fruition, make it come to life. The cover, the format. I love his we have a phrase we call readability, right?
yep, readability.
In some books, it could be a real good written book, but the way it's laid out, the way it's formatted, even the font style can make the book not as easy to read.
Mm-hmm.
It make you want to put it down. It make you want to go and take a break. I'm praying that this book is so easily readable, you knock it out in the evening, you knock it out in the weekend, right? I don't want to just on your shelf just sitting there. I want you to actually read these books and use it. And so thanks to Kofi and what he does with the publishing company, I'm always bragging about. The format, the layout is easy on the eyes. You don't get that eye fatigue. And I love another older person tell me, like, man, the font your book was perfect. I could read it. I love another older person tell me how much it was easy for him to read. I love another young person tell me, man, Mr. Sean, I never read books before, but I read your whole book.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was hitting them. You can flow through it. It was easy to get through. And I credit that to Kofi and what he's doing over there with his formatting, his layouts, his style, the attention to the details. Same tree, different branch is where the book can be found. And always contact me personally. I would love to get you an autographed copy. I would love to talk to you. And after you read the book, come give me feedback. We can talk about it. We can break it down more personal for you. And there will be a workbook. There will be. I talked to Kofi already about it, Dr. Wade already. My goal is every book that I write, I want to have a accompanying workbook to go along with it. Because I want it to be used in school programs, after school programs, any sorority, fraternity, organization, whatever, a prison program, whatever it might be. I want them to have things already there that they can use.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be coming pretty soon in the making.
No doubt, man. Again, I
And the
appreciate.
pre-sale is tonight at midnight, right, Kofi? Tonight we're gonna shut it down at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time you see this in this airing, you got until midnight to go run over there to the link right fast and get it at the pre-sale price.
Yep.
And then we'll go back to regular price tonight at midnight.
So go ahead and tap into it and
Tap into it
that,
while you
take
can.
advantage. Take advantage and get that pre-sale price. Take advantage and get that pre-sale price. 12 midnight. 12 midnight is going off. I guarantee, and it's not a waste of, it's gonna be your money well spent. I guarantee you your money well spent and more. You're gonna be glad that you purchased this book and you read this book. I guarantee you're gonna get some great takeaway points, some great key points, some great things that you can actually apply, you know what I'm saying, and become a practitioner of in this book, man.
Yeah. And even if it's not for yourself, for your nephews, your nieces, you have teenage children in your life, somebody in your neighborhood walk around, you see all the time, you want to pour into them or whatever. These things are made to be easily digestible for those that's not master scholars and warrior scholars and all that. This is made to be easy to digest, easy to read content. It's not made to be the black belt level of reading. You can be anybody and get some takeaways from these books, man.
Most definitely, man.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Man, again, appreciate you, man, for coming on the Warrior Scholar podcast.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me be a guest and promote my projects, man. I love whenever you always have me on the show. When it comes to the writing process, back to the beginning of the show, the process, I love this point whenever it's time for the book to come out. And it's pub day. And tomorrow, the brother Raymond, I love Raymond, he has his nonfiction pub day post he does every Tuesday religiously. I love whenever he have my book posted. amongst the other books on there. Our sister Kelly on Instagram. She also does Pub Day Tuesday every Tuesday. And to see these books amongst those other books being put out in the mass market, man, it always, as an indie person, is a highlight for me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's a highlight for me. So I love these moments, man.
No doubt, man. Let's get it, brother. Yeah. All right, man. I want to say, man, I appreciate you again, bro. I love you, man. And
much love, Kofi. Much love,
man. And we'll be high. Well, we always holler at each other, man. I'll see you. I'll probably be chopping it up with you a little bit later already.
You know what time it is, man. We don't sleep. We don't sleep.
Yeah. Appreciate everybody, man, that tapped into the show. I appreciate everybody that stayed the whole duration of the show. I appreciate people that popped in for a little bit and had to pop out. I appreciate those who may come back in or come later on and check out this in the archive, man. We greatly appreciate y'all, man. And we'll see y'all when we see y'all, man. We all peace. Man, that's